Yo, what is going on, everyone? Guiding Light here, back with another video, and in this one, we're going to be talking about a brand new game called The First Descendant. So if you guys are not familiar with what this game is, it's actually a brand new looter shooter, which is going into beta. The beta is releasing today for free, so anyone can play it, and it's going to be up for about a week. Now, this looter shooter is not like any others. However, if I had to compare it to anything, I would say it's sort of a mix between Destiny, Warframe, and Borderlands, as you are going to get a mixture of incredible boss fights as well as the different characters and things like that you can use. So here's just a quick 30 seconds or so of gameplay if you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, so you can get a quick understanding of what this game is. Now, it is a bit of more like an MMO looter shooter, so there's things like social spaces, boss fights, things like that. Now, I'm not going to waste too much time going into detail about every single little thing in this game, but I wanted to talk to you guys about which character you should choose, especially if you are returning from other games such as Borderlands, Warframe, or Destiny. Now, as you get into the beginning of the beta, you're going to be prompted with a screen that as you select your character, you're going to be able to pick between three of them at the start. Now, each character will have its own abilities and differences, just like any other game. So in this video, I want to talk to you guys about which is the best to start out with and why. So from the beginning, you're going to have options between three characters, but keep in mind, guys, there's actually going to be 11 characters in total in this beta, and you will actually be able to switch between characters later on and buy and get more of them as we go on. So don't think that the choice that you make is completely final. You will have to use this character for a few hours for a little bit at the start, but you will have the ability to switch between other characters and use and try out their abilities as well as you move on. But in case you still wanted to know more about the characters and exactly which one you should choose, we're going to go into the differences between all three. So one thing you'll want to take a look at is that stat at the bottom right, as your shield regeneration, things like that will all have their own different abilities. Now, we'll start out with the character Lepic. He's sort of like a solar character. If you've ever played something like Destiny, he's going to have different burn abilities and different effects in AoE damages, which can spread around to different enemies around him. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can actually go and see what all the different abilities do on each and every character before starting. Now, you're also going to have a passive skill. This is something that's always active, and you don't have to do anything about it in order for it to be turned on. It's just basically always going to be there in the background. So, depending on which passive you like the best, it's going to depend on mainly which character you choose. Now, this character in the middle is going to be more for sort of like DPSing, things like that. Whereas this character here over Viessa, she's sort of like a ice character, which is going to have the ability to freeze different sorts of enemies. She's going to be very good whenever there's big, large clusters. Sort of the same as like the fire character that we just looked at, but this one's going to be able to freeze people. So it will actually be able to get them away from you, because if they're frozen, they're not going to really be able to attack you. So it's going to be definitely really good for clearing out giant hordes. Now, as you can see, she has an extremely high capacity for shield recovery, meaning that if this character is going to be able to shield up very quickly. They also have a ability which allows them to run a little bit quicker and move a little bit quicker. And when they actually do run and have that movement, it's going to create a path which can then damage enemies as well. So this character actually has some special effects and things like that, which could change up your play style and your movement style in order to actually damage the enemies, which is kind of cool and something unique to the character, where you won't really see that on Lepic or even on this one here at the end. So the very third character we have here is sort of like the tank. This is Ajax. So he is a tank. If you've ever played something like Destiny, it's kind of hard not to compare it to a Titan due to the fact that he has the barricade, the bubble, and he also has a giant slam ability as well. Now, the cool thing about this is that this character actually has the ability to have some movement damages as well. So it's cool how you can incorporate movement into damage in this game, because a lot of games don't actually allow you to do that. And the fact that you can combo some of these abilities together with the movement, I think is really cool. So this guy's going to have a very high shield capacity as well. He's going to have a bubble you can pop, and he's also going to be able to slam down on enemies doing massive amounts of damage. So he's sort of like a tank and also a damaging character at the same time. So it's sort of like the Rhino from Warframe. So these are the first three characters you'll be able to choose from. Now, I highly suggest going with whichever character you're most familiar with. So if you have played Warframe, you've played Rhino, you've played Titan in the past, probably want to go with the character Ajax on the right. If you're more of like the hunter from Destiny and you like solar abilities and things like that, you've played solar characters in the past, I definitely suggest just going with Lepic. He's going to be the most like beginner character you can basically pick, and that's why I think they put him there in the middle. Now on the left side here with this character that can freeze enemies, she's definitely a great pick too, especially if you were like a stasis character in Destiny, or you really like the ice abilities from the characters in Warframe. So Hopefully this helps you guys out. Just keep in mind you'll be able to pick and choose and switch around these characters very early on within the beta, so it's not a major decision, but I want to try to help you guys out along the way and discuss a little bit more about each character. So if you guys do want to try out the beta, be sure to go onto the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, or Steam. You can download this wherever. This is not a sponsored video. It's just some game I'm trying out right now because it does look really cool so far. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.